In this video, we are going to be making corrections to your Unit 5 subunit quiz to help you earn some points back on that score. So let's get started. Determine the value of the expression 2 and 23/100ths and 1 and 2/10ths. So first we need to think about how do we multiply with decimals? And the answer would be that we take the decimals out at first and then we place it back after. So what I'm going to do is, when in doubt, set up the grid model. That is going to be most helpful when using decimals. I'm going to make 3 columns because my first number has 3 numbers. And then I'm going to make 2 rows because my second number has only 2 digits. We are going to take out the decimals first. So this is going to become 223 and this is going to become 12. First, we're going to split up our 223. We are going to first split up the hundreds, 200, and then 20, and then 3, because that sum would be 223. On the bottom, we're going to split up 12 to be 10 and 2, because that sum equals 12. And we want as many zeros as possible to make things easier. All right, so now let's start with 10 times 200. That would be 2,000. Because 1 times 2 is 2, and then add in the 3 zeros that are in the digits. 2 times 200 is 400. Because 2 times 2 is 4, then add the zeros. All right, 10 times 20. 1 times 2 is 2, then add 2 zeros. 2 times 20 is 40 because 2 times 2 is 4, and then add a 0. 10 times 3 is 30. 1 times 3 is 3, add a 0. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're going to sum all of this up. How I like to do that is add the 2 rows together. 2,230. And then added to 446. Zero and 6 is 6, 3 plus 4 is 7, 2 plus 4 is 6, and then 2 and nothing is 2. All right, so now we need to put back our decimal point. And that is going to mean, oh wait, I knew that sounded wrong. We're going to change this to a 1.3 instead. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't, never mind. Ignore what I just said. Okay. All right, so now we need to put back our decimal. And we need to think about how many places did we have in our factors. We had 2 places in the first one. And then we had 1 place in the second one. So that I'm on eraser. So we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So we're going to scoot 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So that is 2.676. All right, let's keep going. A rectangle has a width of 2 and 45/100ths units and a length of 1.7 units. What is the area in square units of the rectangle? So we know to get area of a rectangle, we need to do length times width. So we're doing 2.45 times 1.7. We are going to set this up just like we did the last time, where we're going to take out the decimals. My first number has 3 digits, so I'm going to make 3 columns. My second factor has 2 digits, so we're going to make 2 rows. So without the decimal point, this is 245, and without the decimal point, this is 17. So let's split up our numbers now. 245 becomes 200 plus 40 plus 5. 17 becomes 10 plus 7. All right, 10 times 200 is 2,000. Because 1 times 2 is 2, add the 3 zeros. 10 times 40 is 400. And then 10 times 5 is 50. So we have 2,450 for our first row. Let me make that look, there we go. That was looking like a 6. All right, 200 times 7 is 1,400 because 2 times 7 is 14. Add your 2 zeros. 40 times 7 is 280. 4 times 7 is 28. Add your 0. 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, 1,400 plus 280 is 1,680 plus another 35 would be 1,715. Add them together. 4 plus 7 is 11. 1 goes down, 1 goes up. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then again, we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places in our factors. Scoot 3 times, so our product or area is 4 and 165 thousandths. All right, let's keep going. Determine the value of the expression 1 and 56 hundredths added to 83 thousandths. All right, when we are adding with decimals, we need to line up the place values. Tenths on top of tenths, hundredths on top of hundredths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my 2 decimal places and then our decimal place in our sum. We have 1 and 56 hundredths. And now we need to line up the other number. We have 0 below the ones place. Sorry, the tens place. No, that isn't ones place, sorry. But 0 tenths, so 0 is going to go below the tenths place. 8 hundredths, so 8 is going to go below the hundredths place. And then we don't have any thousands here, so we're going to put a 0, and then 3 thousandths goes below the thousandths place. Again, always double check your place values. It said ones on top of the ones, the tenths on top of the tenths, and so on. And then you just add like normal. 0 plus 3 is 3. 6 plus 8 is 14. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 0 is still 6. 1 plus 0 is 0. So our sum is 1.643, or 1 and 643 thousandths. All right, let's keep going. Determine the value of 10 and 79 hundredths minus 1 and 163 thousandths. Same thing when you subtract, you line up your place values. So I'm going to start with my 10 and 79 hundredths. And I'm going to think, in the second number, is anything in the tens place? Nope, so we're going to leave it be. Is anything in the ones place? Yes, a 1. That goes below the 0 because the 0 is also in the ones place. In the tens place, we have a 7, and then in the tens place here, we have a 1, so those stack together. In the hundredths place, we have a 9. In the hundredths place here, we have a 6, so those stack together. In the thousands place here, we don't have anything, so we're going to add on a 0, because in the thousands place here, we have a 3. So now we have everything stacked together. Tenths with tenths, hundredths with hundredths, thousandths with thousandths. Subtract like normal. We cannot do 0 minus 3, so borrow from your neighbor. 9 becomes an 8, and then bring over. 10 minus 3 becomes 7. 8 minus 6 becomes 2. 7 minus 1 becomes 6. We can't do 0 minus 1, so borrow from the next place. 1 becomes a 0 here, and then bring over the 10, so a 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. So our final answer here is 9.627. Again, when you are adding and subtracting, you stack the place values, make sure you put your decimal point in the right place, and then you are done. All right, 2 more problems to go. Determine the value of 5.2 divided by 4 hundredths. Okay. When we have a division sentence, the first number always goes on the inside. The second number always goes on the outside. Okay, so now I am looking at this problem here, and I see an issue, and I'm hearing math sirens behind us because the math police are coming, because we cannot have a decimal on the outside. What we are going to do is make this a whole number by multiplying that by 100. 4 hundredths times 100 just gives you 4 wholes. So now I don't have a decimal on the outside. But now what needs to happen is if I did that on the outside to keep things equivalent, I also need to do that on the inside. 5.2 times 100 is 520. Because when you multiply by 100, you scoot 2 over. We have to match what we do on the outside with what we do on the inside. All right, now let's divide. How many 4s fit into 5? That answer is 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract, you get 1. Bring down the 2. Now you need to ask how many 4s make 12. That answer is 3. 4 times 3 is 12 exactly. Subtract, you get 0. Bring down the other 0. Now, how many 4s make 0? Again, that answer would be 0. So our final quotient is, again, if you want to say 4 times 0 is 0, subtract, you get 0. That is also perfectly fine. All of our numbers are brought down. We don't have a remainder, so we are good to go. Our quotient would be 130. All right, let's do our final problem. 147 divided by 6. So 147 goes on the inside. Because it is first, 6 goes on the outside. All right, and now I'm going to write some multiples of 6 over on the side just to help me. Times 4 is 24, times 5 is 30, times 6 is 36, times 7 is 42. We can add more if we need, but I don't think we will. 6 does not fit into 1, so we're going to put an X. 6 does fit into 14. The closest you can get is 2 times, which is 12. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract, we get 2. Bring down the 7. Now, how many times can 6 go to 27 without going over? And the closest we're going to get is 4 times. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, you get 3. All right. And here, we're in 6th grade, so we are not going to say 24 remainder 3. We are going to keep this problem going. And how we're going to do that is we are going to add a decimal point, and we're going to call this 147.0 because it does not change the value of the number, but it allows us to bring that 0 down. Now we're going to think how many 6s make 30, which is 5 exactly. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, you get 0. So now we have a remainder of 0. Our numbers are brought down, and we are good to go. So our quotient is 24.5. If we did have a remainder, we would just add in an additional 0 to bring down. All right, and we are going to stop here because that is our last question. As long as you have been following along and answering the questions correctly, you will get bonus points back on your quiz. Thank you, and we will see you in the next lesson.